Okay, so once you have your quote or your phrase written out, um, and again, you can see mine is learn rules like a pro, comma, so you can break them like an artist, and then a period. And you can see that I still had some area at the bottom of that last row. And so I went ahead and did hashtag paint with explanation points. So you could add a hashtag, you could add different punctuation marks if you want to draw those in just to finish out that last row. And then I still had another row of squares right here, and I just went and trimmed that off with a pair of scissors, so that I have this frame of the one row of squares. Now, when we add color, have a look at the painting that I posted on this assignment that is by Jasper Johns. He's an American artist. He's still alive. He is now almost 90 years old, but he's well known for his pop art that he did in the 1960s and 70s, and he did a lot of letter paintings where he used just the alphabet and that as a reference for a painting. And we're going to use complementary colors or colors that are opposites or close to opposites to really create a contrast when we're adding color to this. And so we're going to be using oil pastels, and I'm using the opposites of orange and blue, or the complementary colors that I'm using. And a little known fact, oil pastels, the ones that we use today, those were actually invented by Picasso. Pablo Picasso invented these, well, co-invented them with a company that made art supplies. And he made them because he wanted to find a way to have oil paint that was easily accessible and a lot faster to use than oil paint of having to put the paint out and get the brushes, and then you have to clean up the brushes and that. So this was a much faster way for him to work into a painting. And so because of that, the reason that it's oil pastel is that it does have a bit of oil in it. And you'll probably notice that as you start working on the paper, you might see some of the oil sort of seeping into the paper. And the thing is, the great thing about, one great thing about the oil pastels is that you can blend them much like oil paint. So I could put down a blue, I can put down some yellow, and you'll see that in the middle there, it begins to blend into a green. So they kind of mix on the paper rather than having to mix it separate onto a palette. And you can either mix the colors, or if you want to blend, you can use blending stumps. This is a blending stump, usually used for chalk pastel, but you can also use it for the oil pastel. It kind of gives a blended out effect. They come in different sizes. You can see that here's the smaller, sort of more detailed ones. If you need to blend something in, you want that gradation effect. Once the blending sticks get a lot of oil pastel on them, though, you will want to use a piece of sandpaper and just kind of sand off the areas like that, just to get a clean surface again with the blending sticks. So it's good to have a scrap piece of paper if you want to test out some colors. And so even though I'm doing the overall look that I'm going for is that orange and blue, you can see that I've mixed other colors into that. So I've added some yellow into the orange because orange is red and yellow, right, mixed together. And I've got a little purple mixed in with the blue. And I'm also using the black and white to give a blended effect of making some light blues and dark blues and that. And so you'll want to just go in. I'm going to start in here, and you don't want to press down super hard first. That way, I'm almost using it like a brush, like this, like a paintbrush, and sort of painting it in. And then that way I can take another color. Let's get the orange, and sort of blend that in, blend it together. All right, I can use the white to kind of, now I'm pressing a little bit harder with using that. It kind of blends it together. I can use my finger. You'll want to use the paper and then kind of go like this, shake off that excess. Because if you go like this, you'll see that it will smear, although, you know, the smear, I mean, it is painting, so, you know, you might want that effect. I'm just gonna add a little bit more blue into there. Add some purple into the blue. And you see that I'm filling in the whole areas. Some white there to blend it together. So it's going to give you kind of a painterly effect to it. I'm going to use some of the black, just not to completely outline the letters, but I'm just adding it here and there just to add a little bit more depth. So again, I don't need to fill in everything with a solid color. I want to sort of blend colors together. Again, look at that Jasper Johns painting that's attached to this assignment so that you can see that painterly effect that you can get with oil pastels. You'll notice that it will smear, it will blend if you have your hand over it like this. So you need to be careful of that. If you're right-handed, you'll probably want to start on the left and then work your way to the right, all right, so that you're not smearing it as you go. And then if you're left-handed, you work on the right and then work your way over to the left. And then at the very end, what we'll do is, so that it won't smudge or smear anymore, is that we'll use a fixative. It's a spray, and we just use a light coat of the spray that will cover it, and that will keep it from smudging once you are finished with your oil pastel painting. All right, so have fun with it, and good luck. I'm looking forward to seeing the final results.